is there going to be a VAWA interview, an interview based on adjustment of status, based on Violence Against Women Act? And the answer is yes. Okay, the default is yes. Unfortunately, they're not waiving interviews for VAWA, generally speaking. Now, keep in mind, now this is, to be as specific as possible, this is for typically people who are concerned. They don't know if they want to even file it because they're concerned about the interview and really having to retell the story of the abuse. I understand that part. I acknowledge your pain. I know it'll be difficult. Please know that as part of the, at least the I-360, we do help you, guide you to, we don't write your letter. You know, that's your story to tell the truth. We just help customize it, okay, to make it organized, to give you some pointers, some typical things that USCIS would want to know in that letter. Because some people have, you know, they either don't know how to get started, right? Or when they do get started in that letter, they think that, oh, how many pages do I need to write? It's not really so much about how many pages. It's more about the content, okay? And that you get it in. But some people tend to write so much and it's really, you don't need that much. But that's not the purpose of this video. Just want to give you an idea that you already told your story in the letter. Yes, in the interview, they likely will ask you about it, but it's not one of those things that you're going to have to go through the entire story. Okay, they might want to use that interview as an opportunity to clarify some things. Okay, the interview, okay, adjustment of status interview, is mostly about seeing if you're even eligible. Okay, so it's kind of thought of as in reverse, in the sense that, you know, if you're inadmissible. Okay, inadmissible is a legal term, word that we use, basically say, what are the legal reasons that you would be denied, not eligible for adjustment of status, aka resident status, green card. Okay, so the thing is with this is that, for example, you know, people have been so concerned recently about, do I need to take the COVID vaccine? Yes, for better or worse. You know, I know a lot of people don't want to take it. If you don't take it, then you have to apply for a waiver, and most people don't qualify for that waiver because it's very specific situation, reasoning they want. So aside from that, so related to the COVID vaccine is health ground inadmissibility. Another one is about your criminal history, if you have any. The other one is if you had any court hearings before, right? Essentially, if you have a permanent bar. Of course, our stance is that we're arguing to the government, USCIS, that you're still eligible, even if you have permanent bar. So I know some people who have seen this phrase permanent bar doesn't actually mean you can't get status at all in the future, but typically is if you have a permanent bar, is that you have to stay outside America for 10 years. Like there's no waiver in the meantime. But if you're eligible for VAWA, you typically don't have to worry about that. But some officers like to give a little pushback. They want to throw out their fist. Okay, we got to punch back legally. Okay, and advocate for you. So that's some things you need to know about that. Now you might ask, maybe you're at the situation where you're about to be scheduled for an interview. You think you're going to be scheduled soon, or you already have the interview day, and you're wondering, do I need a lawyer? Our goal, our part of our mission is to empower clients to understand their rights and also what they're going through. Some people, you might think it's surprising, but some people ask, by the way, what is our application on file for? We get questions like that. And we want to make sure that you understand everything. So when we get questions like that, we acknowledge that for the most part, it's just better to have a lawyer on hand, okay? Just practically speaking, if an officer asks you a question and you know, to me, it may seem like I already know, like I know what they're asking, but to you, you don't hear these questions that often, right? Or this would be your first time, other than preparation session with our team, but you might get a little tripped up. And it's not to say that in this scenario of example, it's not to say that the officer's trying to trick you, is that you just never heard this kind of question before, right? And maybe the way we phrase it to you in preparation is slightly different, right? So it could throw you off. So my point is, a lawyer, what we do is that when we can sense that from you in the interview, I would politely ask the officer, officer, do you mind if I rephrase for my client? And every time I've asked that, they do not mind. So in some ways, we're there as peace of mind. Okay, we're there for a reason. We're not trying to keep you calm, because when we keep you calm, you can complete the interview successfully. Okay. If we didn't think that you were eligible in the first place to file for this, we wouldn't encourage you to file in the first place. Okay. So you have to be confident. We're there to help you be confident. Now, let's say you don't want to interview a lawyer there because, of course, it's going to cost more money. Now, in that sense, we still prepare you for the interview to help empower you and to help you be confident. Okay. You may be confident in your everyday life, day to day thing, right? But when you get down to it at the interview, you're like shaking your boots and you wouldn't know until you get there, right? So that's why a lot of people ask us, we have three different service plans: light, pro, and max. Obviously, max provides the maximum services for you, that which includes the interview. Some people are not sure, but we just say, okay, select the max pro plan for now if you're not sure, if you want us at the interview. But you can always upgrade to the max plan later. Okay. So that's just something to keep in mind. That's really about it in terms of this topic for today. If there is a VAWA interview, yes, please expect it. Okay, because we don't want, if it gets waived for whatever reason, that's amazing, right? That's amazing. But don't assume it will be waived just because like marriage cases are being generally waived right now. But yeah, essentially, like if you have any criminal history, they do want to talk about that. They want to check it. But just because you have some crimes in the past or even arrest, that doesn't mean it's an automatic you get rendered not eligible. So that's something, of course, you discuss with your attorney anyway.